But Bowling Green was great for me, if not culturally, intellectually. So I went without a major. The only thing I knew I wanted in my life professionally was not to be a teacher. Right? My parents were both teachers. Like, there's no way. Like, I'll do anything, but I'm not going to be a freaking teacher. Like, you're not going to do it. And so I ended up in a class taught by Larry Friedman on totalitarianism in the 20th century, my first semester. And it was just like this. It was literally a life-changing experience. Again, a story I've told you before, so I'll shorthand it. We were discussing The Tin Drum by Gunter Grass, which is about a young kid named Oscar. And we came to class, and Larry Friedman said, there's only one question today. Does Oscar represent Jesus, or does he represent Satan? And kind of exploring the Nazi regime. And the class split halfway down the middle. Half were convinced he was Jesus, the other half convinced he was Satan. We argued well past the end of class. Like, I've never seen a class where people were packing up their backpacks to tell the professor, like, it's time to move on. Nobody was cleaning up. Like, we're 15 minutes long and we're still like, we're deeply engaged in this debate. And finally, the next class has to start. So Larry says, great work. I'll see y'all next week. And still nobody gets up because we want to know the answer, right? Like, you made us read the book. You've made us care about the book. What's the answer? Like, is it Jesus or is it Satan? Defining moment of my intellectual life. We're sitting in a circle in these hard plastic, right? It's the 80s, these hard plastic chairs. And Larry Friedman rolls his eyes to the ceiling and he says, and this is a direct quote, I don't know what the hell the answer is. And like, something clicked in my brain, like, that's what I want to do. Went down to the registrar's office, became a history major that day. Like, I didn't know exactly what it was, but like, what he taught me was history wasn't memorizing names and dates. Like I had been taught largely in high school. History is this ongoing conversation in search of better understanding who we are today by like talking about the roots from which, we are. And so it became a history major. My parents were like, please do ed. And I'm like, no, like, I'm not going to do a secondary ed degree. I don't want to be a teacher. So when I graduated after 4 years, I had no idea. Like, I had toyed briefly with the idea of being a lawyer because I think everybody in the 1980s wanted to be a lawyer in an LA law kind of way, kind of like imagining that lifestyle on the television show. But I think I knew, like, in my core, that wasn't really what I was cut out to do. So I stayed and got a master's degree, Bowling Green. I don't know how much detail you want. Wrote a thesis on the war in Vietnam, especially Lyndon Johnson's decision to escalate. Finished, still didn't know what to do. So I moved to El Paso. I just got married. My wife had a job teaching at a school in El Paso. I had to get a job. I had really long hair. My in-laws were clearly somewhat suspicious of me being a freeloader. So I got a job teaching part-time at the community college. And within a half a semester, I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be.